This is just a quick walk around to talk about how this pond works, how I built this place, and our number one question, how the pond stays so clean and clear. So this place is actually a short-term rental we built on our property in Louisa, Virginia. It's all on our property that we call Lake Glen Haven. We're in Louisa, Virginia, and this is the fourth rental on our property. We've got 142 acres of hiking and biking trails, farm animals to visit, a little farm store with local meats and other things for sale. So I built this place about 3 years ago. I started by building the pond so I could get started with the filtration and the cleaning process to get it ready to rent next year. The pond took me about 2 months to build. I started by digging the center hole with a small Kubota tractor. After digging the center hole, I widened it to get the second tier for the top terrace, which is about 2 to 3 feet deep, depending upon the water level. I used the dirt from that to build up the bog here in the back. The bog is what does almost all of the cleaning and the filtering of the water. All of this water started as lake water from our clay bottom lake on our property. I pumped it out of that lake and into here and let everything filter out. The only thing I added at that point was a little bit of a product called flocculant, which helps bind all the clay particles, helping them either sink to the bottom or just get caught in the filter. Most of the cleaning process is done by the good bacteria that accumulates in the bog. The bog is about 4 feet deep, filled with gravel and different sized rocks. The water is constantly pumped to the bottom of the bog, pushed up or forced up through the gravel, and then it overflows into the waterfall. All the plants in the pond, but especially in the bog, soak up nutrients. With the plants taking up the nutrients, algae doesn't really have a chance to take hold. The pond does go through different seasons. Every spring we get some algae that shows up before the plants. Once the plants kind of take over, the algae gets starved out. The only thing I've ever added to the pond besides flocculant, which is just to knock down the clay particles, is a product called Diatomix. Diatomix feeds the natural microscopic diatoms in the water by providing the silica and other micronutrients that the diatoms need to thrive. The way I like to think about it is that having the diatoms thriving in the pond is like having hundreds of extra plants in the pond pouring out nutrients. The Diatomix IV that I use is a concentrate, so I really only have to use about 5 milliliters once a week to get good results. So this one bottle should last me years. There are other products for fighting algae, but this is the only one I'm aware of that does it completely naturally, by feeding the natural diatoms and letting nature do its thing. It's completely safe for the fish and other critters that might be in your pond. They actually benefit because the things that they eat the diatoms. So back to the filtration process. The water is pulled from the pond. It goes back into the intake bay, where it passes through a couple feet of stone to make its way down into the pipes that lead to the pond pumps. From the pumps, the water is pushed up to the bottom of the bog. That's about 4 feet of gravel and stone it has to pass through in order to overflow into the waterfall and back into the pond. There is a liner in the bottom of the pond, and all of the edges are built up a little bit so groundwater never enters the pond. It's kind of a closed loop system. The only additional water that comes into the pond is through rain. Washes off either the metal roof on the barn and into the pond, or just lands straight in the pond. What you see there on the bottom is actually not debris. I don't know if you can see it from here, but those are actually a couple thousand tadpoles probably. I don't stock any fish in this pond because this is a rental. I want people to be comfortable swimming, but I also don't want the fish adding a bunch of extra nutrients and then ending up with some algae in here. The other pond on the property is our pond in front of our house. I do have fish in there. I take some other chances with algae, and we have had a little more trouble with algae in there because of it. Almost all of the water on this 2 horsepower pump is pumped to the bottom of the bog for the filtration. However, this little bit here that comes out at the top is so that if the electricity ever turns off, it won't create a siphon and siphon the water back into the pond. Some of the debris kind of accumulates at the bottom of the bog, so we don't want that being pushed back up into the pond. And that is just really as backup because there is a check valve in the line as well. There's not a lot I would change if I did this again. I did leave a couple extra pipes going to the bottom of the intake bay there in case I ever wanted to add more pumps, which I may do to add jets to the pond at some point. I do wish I had added lights in the past, but I've added one recently, and we'll see how that looks tonight. We're in zone 7, and all kinds of plants do really well in the pond here. We've got hostas, irises, spiderwort, swamp milkweed, watercress, water hibiscus, which I think is called rose mallow, tons of creeping jenny. I'm sure there's a ton more I'm forgetting. There's rain lilies, probably even more variety over at our pond. Because this is a rental, I spend a little more time keeping it clean. I do jump in every once in a while and swim around, scoop out any leaves that don't make it into the intake bay, but most of the leaves and debris make it into the intake bay, thankfully. If you all have any questions, just put them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them.